open on Washington University's campus in winter. Snow fills the ground and people walk up and down a path in the late afternoon. There's a close-up shot of a man's legs as he walks with a white guide cane. He walks into a building and through a door wearing a light blue striped dress shirt, a Caucasian male with sandy brown hair and yellow tinted glasses.
I'm Liam McCoy. I've been part of the MindsEye community for 6 years. I've been legally blind since birth. I've always had partial sight depending on lighting conditions. And I started getting involved with MindsEye through Adapted Sports in 2020. From there, I got more involved with the audio description program. And in the summer of 2024, I'm grateful to be part of the board of directors at MindsEye and inspired this last year with more members of the vision impaired community getting involved with the leadership of the organization.
Liam writes the words broadcast program on a chalkboard that exists behind him in the interview room.
One great example is Langford Cunningham, who hosts the Blind City podcast on MindsEye's broadcast network.
Langford Cunningham sits in a radio booth recording a podcast. He's an African-American man with short, clean-cut hair, wearing Cartier glasses, and resting his hand on a gold-tipped walking cane.
MindsEye has been very supportive of Blind City podcast. To be truthfully, MindsEye was the first radio station to say, you know what? We're going to help you create your own narrative. Just because you have a handicap doesn't mean you got to stop pursuing your goals. You still can believe, you still can have inner sight, no matter how small it starts. And that's what Blind City, with the help of MindsEye, affects so many different stations and TVs.
Liam now writes the words audio description on the chalkboard.
Another great example of an individual leading the way is Thomas Reed, host and producer of Read My Mind Radio, who partnered with MindsEye to co-lead the MindsEye audio description training program.
Thomas Reed is an African-American man with a full beard, shaved head, wearing brown sunglasses and a white collared shirt.
Basically, what our workshop does over 3 weeks is to introduce folks to a concept of audio description that we call a blind-centered approach, which involves a creative way of looking at and describing content for blind folks. The tagline of Read My Mind Radio and what it's all about is compelling people impacted by all degrees of blindness and disability in general, and occasionally I share some of my own experiences as a man adjusting to becoming blind as an adult. And so I've talked to just people who are doing things within the community with their disability as opposed to overcoming your disability. And I think those are two really big differences there.
Along with the blind-led training program, we also initiated a quality control position to provide feedback on the audio description.
A young Caucasian woman with long brown hair stands in for an interview wearing a blue textured top.
My name is Annie Donnell. I have been one of the quality control specialists with MindsEye, as well as a patron of MindsEye's programs. Quality control specialist, it's been a really cool program. We get to provide feedback on the describers. Can you hear them through the headsets? Also, was there describing too much, too little, or just right? So we get to provide feedback on all that.
Alongside quality of audio description, MindsEye also increased quantity. Some of the new exciting events this year include monthly tours at the St. Louis Art Museum, the new 1904 World's Fair exhibit at the History Museum, a flyover classic between SLU and MU club hockey teams at Centene Community Ice Center, professional bull riding at Enterprise Center, and St. Louis City Soccer Club is the first organization which MindsEye provided audio description for every single home game at City Park.
Liam now writes adaptive athletics on the chalkboard.
Our adaptive athletics program also took major leaps this year as we hosted the 2024 Beatball World Series in the metro area, and the Gateway Archers made a deep run in the playoffs.
Footage plays of the 2024 Beatball World Series as the Gateway Archers hit balls into the outfield and run towards the first base line. We see Ethan Johnston run and tackle one of the first base lines and then celebrate with his coach and team. Gateway Archer Kyle Bora stands in for an interview while his team practices behind him.
We're on our home field, home city. It's awesome to play in front of your friends and family. Get the local community volunteers out here, get news stories, get more just recognition for beat ball. It's awesome.
MindsEye CEO Jason Frazier stands in for an interview on the same field.
Players out here are athletes. They're not a novelty act. They're people who have great athletic ability. You have Paralympians. You have guys who train all season long to do this sport. The guys who can't see, I want them to be seen. You know, St. Louis has teams around here that people rally behind. I want the Archers to be counted in that group. And I also want the city to see the other teams too that come here and represent this sport too as well, and see the amazing athletes on display for a full week here in the sport's highest pinnacle, the Beat Ball World Series.
The Gateway Archers circle up and put their hands in the middle and let out their battle cry.
This year, MindsEye also took a step forward, bringing on another member of the blind community, Evan Schwerbrock, to be the new strength and conditioning coach for the Gateway Archers.
Evan is a Caucasian man with wavy brown hair and a full beard, wearing a black t-shirt on a virtual Zoom call.
I'm Evan Schwerbrock, the owner of Canyon Able Fitness, which is a fitness resource for the blind and visually impaired of the world. In 2014, I was afflicted with Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, which caused me to go legally blind within about 2 weeks. It required a lot of adapting really, really quickly. I was always a gym junkie, and I found that the gym was that one big win every day that I had in order to make sure that at least something positive happened every day. I'm currently demonstrably the world's strongest man and trying to use that title and my academic background in order to help other blind people become fitter and lead healthier, happier lives.
Close-up shot of the Gateway Archers logo on a training shirt of one of the athletes. Archer Ethan Johnston runs an agility drill in a gymnasium. Now Richie Crussell runs the agility drill, while pitcher Mike Curtis claps to show the runners where to go. Ethan Johnson stands in for an interview with a beard, shoulder-length dreads, and a gray 2023 Beat Ball World Series t-shirt.
As blind athletes, sometimes you try to research for workouts, and a lot of the time it's a visual, so this training is amazing because it was hands-on, so you can see the postures and make sure your form is correct. That way we can take this training and take it home.
Gateway Archer Steve Patton also stands in for an interview with light reddish-brown hair and a full beard.
These types of programs throughout my whole life in the different areas that I've lived and things like that have been instrumental just into my happiness, my confidence, my healthiness. And the fact that MindsEye makes such a good investment into us to allow us to do this, I know that all of us guys on the team, we're just endlessly thankful for all the opportunities that we get, and we're excited to give it our all again this year and see if we can't win the championship.
Together with all of these programs, we're not only providing these services, but empowering blind and visually impaired individuals to go out and leave their own mark on the world. But we can't accomplish this mission without you. So thank you for helping us translate vision into audio for the blind and visually impaired.